Jane Moore has been a crossbred, looking at inspiring planting and design in small gardens. And this week, she's near Sept in East Sussex.
With the sea only a stone's throw away, it's easy to see where this gardener got his inspiration. But I bet there have been a few battles with the elements along the way. Jeff Stonebanks has been creating this garden for 12 years. My goodness, what a little wonderland you've got here.
That's the usual reaction when people walk around that corner. Either their jaw drops or they say, wow. So you get the gold star.
I think I've done a combination of both, actually. Even though it's a lovely, balmy day, we're seeing it today. I can't imagine it's always like this, Jeff.
We had 64-mile-an-hour winds over the weekend.
Right, which most gardens would not handle at all well.
No. Well, this didn't, but yeah, we've worked some magic on it.
Absolutely, you certainly have. Well, it looks a picture.
And many people that live on the coast come and visit the garden and are interested to know what's growing here. And my answer to them nearly always is, you can grow anything by the sea if you look after it and create a sort of small microclimate for it.
And you've got some very interesting plants. I'm guessing there's some water there because I can see a gunnerer and some...
Well, the gunner's actually in a pot, and people always say, gunners are huge things, you walk under them, how can you grow them in a pot? But I desperately wanted one in this very small garden, and I went to Hampton Court a few years ago, and the guy selling them said, they'll grow according to the conditions you give them, so put it in a pot and it will grow accordingly.
I'm really keen to start exploring the garden. Can we go and have a look?
We can indeed, yes. There's lots to explore. Might be small, but there's a lot in it. One of my favourite areas along there. Quite stunning.
It seems like your garden's always got two sides. You've got a riot of colour down there, and then up here it's all serene and green.
The logic behind that is because, in essence, there's a degree of shelter from the winds from the sea in that corner behind the house, whereas because the garden slopes upward, this area here is a little bit more exposed. I planted 800 annuals in this garden this year, and I mean, I've probably only got 500 of them left because, again, it is survival of the fittest. But to get the effect, you need to densely plant and help them.
I love how you've used the sculptures to kind of tie up the whole garden.
I found that when we first came here, because the garden was so exposed, I had great difficulty getting height. It looked very one-dimensional as you looked out from the kitchen. So the sculpture is there really to get the height in the garden. I mean, behind you, we've got this umbrella. I mean, people look at that and wonder what it is. It's actually a genuine Victorian topiary frame. Now, fortunately, the two really complement each other.
I love all these little corners that you've developed. This is particularly nice with the aeoniums and the echiverias.
Yeah, I mean, it's one part of the garden that I think you could reproduce anywhere because it's really perfect for a small courtyard garden, for a patio, or even a balcony, to be honest.
And of course, they're always great in a small pot, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of small pots here with different things in, particularly in the tray there. But I mean, another nice addition is this chair, which cost me £1 from the local tip. Took the seat out, put some pond liner in it with a hole in the bottom, and every year I put something different in it. This year we put this display of echiveriums in here and this beautiful Stagina lime moss in the centre, and it's amazing how many people remark on it.
It makes a really jolly little feature,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Yeah, it
and
does.
Of course, the great thing about using succulents is you don't need to worry about the watering either.
No, that's true, you don't.
Oh, I love this little framed area, but they all look like annual bedding plants.
I mean, if you saw this area in May, you'd get a real surprise because it's this beautiful set of steps that you can no longer see because I've just covered each side of it with a number of pots. There are about 10 large pots that line these steps, and I just fill them with annuals. I have a picture of what I want to create and what I want to do, and it's got to be there tomorrow. So that's why I use these pots and the annuals because, okay, it takes time for them to grow, but I can see what I want, and it turns out pretty spectacular.
It's pretty spectacular, as you say. Usually a small garden is more about what you leave out, but Jeff hasn't worried about that. Instead, he's packed everything he likes in and tied it all together with sculpture and art.
Now, coming up, Jane Moore visits a small garden by the sea that is full of character.
I have a picture of what I want to create and what I want to do, and it's got to be there tomorrow.